So I'm 40 years old, and I found that there's about 7 habits that make fat loss easier than anything else. I want to share them with you today, starting with number 1, and that is whatever you can do while walking, make sure you're walking while you do it. So in other words, if you can be on a call, if you can take a meeting, if you can have a conversation, if you can listen to a podcast and you can walk while you do that thing, you should be walking. This is how you get your daily movement up to a level that is going to burn way more calories. I ignored this for so long, and sometimes I still do. To be honest, I run a fitness coaching company, but I sit in front of my computer a lot, and sometimes I forget, like, hey, I could be walking while I'm doing this, or while I'm researching, or while I'm answering emails or whatever. I could be moving. And one of the goals I had that I'm sure you might appreciate is I wanted every office to have an option for 2 things. 1, a standing desk, and then 2, a under the desk walking pad, so that while people are on Zoom calls, while people are doing busy computer work or handling team stuff, they're able to walk, because movement is a lifestyle. It is part of everybody who's lean's routine. And the guys I coach who are traveling a lot, they have a lot of stuff on their plate, work-wise, family-wise, and they don't always have time to go to the gym and do 30 minutes on the treadmill. This is how we get those steps up. There's a lot of other strategies, but I would say habit number 1 is just making a commitment to look at your calendar, look at your schedule, and be like, what can I do that allows me to, what is on my schedule that I could walk while I do it? Okay, that's number 1. Now, habit number 2 is going to sound a little bit crazy, but I think we got to eliminate most of the stuff out there that is going to distract you. So habit number 2 is stop chasing shiny objects. Like, literally ignore 90% of the advice out there. And I'll tell you why. Not because it doesn't work, but because there's just so many ways that you can get lean, lose fat, especially as you get older. Like, you're going to be hit with ads and coaching. I mean, you might see my ads, right? You'll be hit with opportunities left and right, like TRT, peptides, supplements, coaching, personal development. You should buy this Peloton. Oh, now there's a new Peloton. Like, dude, I don't want you to ignore my ads, because selfishly, I want you to sign up for my coaching program, which, by the way, you can learn all about in the description below. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're already in a rock solid program, ignore my ads, okay? Ignore my stuff. If you're already getting amazing results, don't chase something new. Now, if you're not getting results, if you're like, yeah, I've invested in gym equipment, I've looked at hormone stuff, I've looked at peptide stuff, but I just don't have a body that I'm proud of. Like, I still have man boobs. I'm not dropping weight like I used to. When I was 20 something, man, I could just, go on a diet for 2 weeks and drop weight. Okay, so what's probably happening, or part of it, is you're chasing so many things. For example, I have a rapid fat loss guide. If you want to copy, you can comment rapid. And in that guide, I simplify the process. How are we going to rapidly lose belly fat? If you comment rapid, RAPID, I'll send you a copy. But let me just be clear. If you've already obtained 20 PDFs and you haven't actually done anything with them, stop. Stop chasing shiny objects, dude. Like, I have a anti-cheat day protocol. It's like a 1-day system to drop a ton of fat in 1 day and then get back on your normal plan. You can buy it below. It's $20. It's cheap. It's like a cup of coffee these days. Anyway, don't buy it if you're already looking at 30 other things. Stick to one thing, dude. All right, now let me give you some more advice. This whole simplicity approach, I call it the 3M system. Baseline foundation, movement, muscle, meals. Movement, minimum 8 to 10,000 steps a day. This is like when we're trying to maintain our weight. Muscle, 3 to 4 workouts per week for 30 to 45 minutes. Meals, at the bare minimum, just control your protein intake and control your calories, okay? If you get those 2 things right, nutrition will handle itself for the most part, okay? All right, so if you have that simple system in place, then what? Well, honestly, the rest of the game is meaningful missions. So purpose-driven protocols that you wake up excited to tackle every day. Mindset medicine. How are you taking care of your brain? How are you taking care of your emotions? How are you taking care of the ups and downs that you feel on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis? Okay, you don't need more workout systems. You don't need more nutrition. Now, sure, we're gonna probably have to adjust what you're doing now, but if you're always chasing something new, think about it like this, you're always starting over. You're always like, oh, that sounds better. That sounds cooler. That sounds greater, bigger, faster, stronger, right? It's like the name of the game. So that's habit number 2. Habit number 2 is not doing something, not chasing something. Now, habit number 3 is sleeping 6 to 7 hours a night on repeat. Don't get caught up in this horrible trajectory of poor sleep. Poor sleep is going to hurt a lot of things. It's going to hurt fat loss. It's going to hurt muscle building. We got to get better quality sleep. Part of how we rapidly lose fat is we fix our sleep. If you want a copy of my rapid fat loss protocol, you can comment rapid. I'll send it to you. If you just want to jump on a call with me, you can schedule a consultation, I should say, below. A couple questions you can answer, see if we're a good fit, and then no hard pressure sales or anything, just seeing if I can help. But one of the things I'm going to ask you about is your sleep. Like, how well are you sleeping? Because we got to fix the sleep if we're going to fix your appetite, your willpower, your discipline, your energy. Heck, if your testosterone's low, your sleep's probably jacked up. If your cortisol's always high, we got some stuff going on, brother. All right, we got to fix the sleep. Don't get sidetracked thinking, oh, I can stay up till 1 a.m, do work, get up at 4. Like, dude, yeah, the hustle days are cool. They're going to happen sometimes. If you're traveling between time zones, the biggest tip I can give you is we got to have protocols to be able to handle that. How do we handle going from one time zone to another? How do we handle jet lag? How do we handle stress and not be able to sleep great? Okay. So sleep is another one. Habit number 4 is training to build muscle all the time. Here's what I see from guys. They go in the gym and they kind of go through the motions and they wonder why their body never changes. Maybe they built some muscle, but like they've kind of just found a level where they're not pushing themselves anymore. And sometimes that's because there's a fear of injury. And I get it because I'm 40 and I don't want to get hurt. I've had some really bad injuries. I had a stretch where I was getting hurt every 6 months, including tearing my bicep and horrible tendonitis and broken fingers. Like, it was just rough. Luckily, there's systems to avoid injury. We can still train with proper intensity, but train smart. This might mean using machines, working with different angles on body parts that doesn't hurt. For example, quads, in front of your legs, you may not do a barbell squat. Maybe you do a machine squat. Maybe you do a leg extension. There's always a way to train hard, but train safe. But if we're going in the gym with this whole idea that we're just going to burn a bunch of calories and like we're going to do circuits, or we're just going to do like light weight so we don't get hurt, or we're just kind of going through the motions with no intensity, well, your body's not going to really change, not just from a muscle building standpoint, but from a metabolism standpoint. Metabolism is like a factory. It has to work hard when you give proper intensity, when you put your body in a place where it's like, I got to do some changes to support what this dude's doing, right? Like, think about it like this. If you run a company and everybody shows up to work just kind of going through the motions, there's no urgency ever. There's no drive. There's no like, can't wait to go to the next level, or can't wait to do a better job, or I can't wait to, hit these goals or whatever. Like, sure, there's a time and place to maintain, but we're talking about fat loss here. We're talking about making aesthetic changes. We're talking about making our bodies perform better, be healthier. Like, we have to give it a reason to do that. So we have to train with enough intensity. Super, super important. There's a couple things I can ask on a consultation with guys, and I'll quickly figure out, does this person have the right programming? And once we get that figured out, well, all of a sudden, guys are like, oh, now I'm starting to see changes. Now my body's responding. It's pretty sweet, okay? Next one, long stretches with minimal to zero alcohol. It's a big habit. Needs to be implemented. You're fooling nobody except yourself if you think you can drink a ton of alcohol and be in great shape. Never gonna happen. You gotta face reality, dude. And I'm right there with you. I've had to face reality. Not that I've ever been a big drinker, but I've had times where alcohol crept into my week multiple times. And when I really look back, I was like, oh, that's why my sleep sucked. That's why my appetite sucked. That's why I ate too many calories. That's why I'm still carrying belly fat. I was drinking too much. Now, is alcohol the only reason why you're not where you want to be? Of course not. It's typically just the downstream effect that alcohol has on your habits, on your recovery, on your testosterone. So my suggestion is, and it was something we do with our guys, is like, I'm working with a guy now, runs a big firm, and he was honest. He's like, dude, I golf a lot, I travel a lot, and when I get to, golf, I want to drink because it's like a stress relief. And then when I travel a lot, when I show up at wherever location I am for a couple days, first thing I do is pour myself a scotch, kick my feet up and relax before I get into business meetings. And because then that's leading to poor sleep, zero willpower at food time. And, it's just something I need to cut out. And so it's not that we just go cold turkey. We have strategies to make a transition from drinking all the time to not drinking very much, very smooth. Anyway, I say this, give yourself at least a 14-day challenge of no alcohol. Replace it with mocktails, replace it with sparkling water. See what happens, okay? Replace it with a Diet Coke, the best beverage on earth. Okay. Cool. Good stuff. Now, we got a couple more that I want to share with you. The next one is taking a seasonal approach, okay, to fitness. I think every guy should have a 3 to 4 season rotation every year. One would be a fat loss season. One would be a muscle building season. One would be a maintain season. And then potentially one would be a performance season, okay? Gotta exit out of this. Performance season. So how do we structure that? Well, we look at the best times of year where you can focus on those 4 things, and we implement goals and milestones around those type of goals during that time of year so that you never get burned out with one goal. You're able to progress in multiple areas every single year, and they all kind of flow together. So the way I look at it is all right, I want to get lean. So I want to be lean for the warm months, okay? And I want to go into the summer without pressure of oh my gosh, I have to cut. Okay. So here's what we do. So I start my cut around April, sometimes March, April, May, and then a little bit of June is my shredding season. So I'm coming to the last stretch here for me. It's the beginning of June as I film this video, but I only have, now there's a side note to this I'm going to share with you. I started my cut a little late because I had so much going on that I couldn't really commit to something the way I like to commit to a cut. But I will tell you this, as soon as July hits, I'm just focused on maintenance. Now, why do I maintain in the summer? Well, because we take vacations a lot. We take on responsibilities in the summer, like I do football conditioning for our local football league. Anyway, I like to maintain in the summer. Now, I will quickly transition to a performance phase that will take me to a performance goal for the fall. I typically do a performance goal right at the beginning of the fall season before things get really busy with sports and the weather changes. But I also want to look good when I'm doing a performance goal. I know that's super ego-based, but whatever, I don't care. You guys know it's true. You want to feel good. If I'm running a marathon, if I'm doing a high rocks, I want to just feel in shape. Not to mention, if I'm doing a performance goal, it's probably going to go a lot better if I'm in better shape. Muscle building season for me is typically always the winter time. Always the winter time. So I'll typically use the cold months where I'm not as motivated, or I just don't go outside as much because it's cold. I'll go skiing a lot, like I do active things. But I'm like, hey, you know what? If I pack on 5-10 pounds, it's okay. It's okay. It's going to come off. In a lot of ways, it's healthy. All right. You don't need to like try to maintain 10% body fat all the time. Unless you're a fitness model, then maybe I guess you should. But the other thing I'll say is, and this is the last habit that I'll share with you today. Every guy should be testing and being aware of his health on an ongoing basis, okay? Blood work, DEXA scan, VO2 max should be your core rotation when it comes to taking care of your health. What this allows you to do is uncover missing, invisible pieces that could be leading to issues that you just weren't aware of. So I can't tell you exactly when you should be doing it, but I like to schedule blood work around my birthday. And then 6 months later, I like to do a VO2 max as I get ready for a performance goal so I can see where I am performance-wise. And then I like to do a DEXA scan when I start a body fat cut, okay? We do that for guys in our program. So guys join, we get them tested, they know all their numbers, and we build programs from some of that data, in fact, a lot of that data, and then we analyze it as time goes on. We get it retested so they can clearly see progress. There's no guesswork, all right? So now, the big thing here is, what do you do next? Well, I'd say the easy next step is if you're serious about dropping some fat, getting your body fat where it should be, dialing in your health long-term for your family, and just feeling confident again, getting rid of the man boobs, dude. Like, no guy in their 40s, 50s, and 60s should suffer from man boobs and a gut and feel disgusted with how they look in pictures. That's no way to live, brother. Don't live like that. Don't waste another day like that. Get on the right path, and I can help you. If you schedule a consult with me, you can find the link to do that below, or watch the next video that I put on the screen here. And we'll see you soon. Life moves fast. Make it count. Peace.